Hey guys. Okay. How's everybody doing? Is it like pizza or something? No, we're going to be talking about the Epstein files. But I'm not sure if the title of the stream will devalue it, so I decided to play it safer than sorry. We're going to do that while I'm just chillaxing, doing a little bit of uh, Hearthstone Battlegrounds, because I don't have much else to do right now. We're gonna get this all set up here. Hold on, I gotta figure out how to do all of this. All right, so this needs to be reduced in size. There we go. Okay. There we go. Sorry to hear that you're sick, Paisios. I hope you're feeling better. Or hope you feel better. Either one. You know, all those different connections, so I'm going to give some controversial positions on this that some people are not going to like. Reminder, share the stream with everyone that you guys want to share it with, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to do this. Hold on. I got there we go. And we're going to do window there. I'm not sure how loud this will be, so we may have to mute the stuff. There we go. I just hate the fact that I'm going to be able to work and not sit here. The good thing is I can still do my prayers from the comfort of my bed, so that's good. Well, yeah. You gotta recover. That's the big thing. Stein in the last name is a dead giveaway. Yeah, there's some truth to that. But really at the end of the day, people are both making too big of a deal about this, but also missing the forest for the trees. It's a both and situation. The fact of the matter is the reason Epstein is so important, and the reason that Epstein's important is only because greetings, Octavian. How you doing? The only reason people are making as big of a hullabaloo about the Epstein files is because a lot of people believe that it was going to lead to prosecutions. Right? They're like, we finally got the thing that's going to get all of the elite around the world to be prosecuted. But here's the problem. It's not going to lead to any of that. And the information in it, while revealing in a lot of ways, is also not enough to actually prosecute most people. So, for example, there's an email of a guy who says, thank you. He says, thank you to Epstein for the little girl. He says, thank you for Epstein for the little girl. And people are like, he's a pedophile. Like, he needs to go to jail. We need to figure out who this guy is so that this guy can go to jail. Here's the problem. He can just claim, he can literally just claim, and there's no evidence, there's no DNA evidence, there's nothing that's going to there's nothing that's going to harm him in a court of law. And then the people say, but we can like destroy his life. Dude, these people are mega rich. These are mega rich people. The only people that will be held accountable are the people that don't have enough money just to go f off for the rest of their lives on an island somewhere. Like seriously, these people, if they want, they can get a new name, they can get a new identity, they can get new passports, and they can f off to some Southeast Asian nation or some Hawaiian island, and none of them will be held accountable. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is even if you can prove that the guy meant what he meant, as in a child, you have to show intention. There has to be enough evidence for a jury to convict that he wasn't just talking about a fully grown woman that just happened to be little, right? They can just say, oh, I was just talking about a petite, fully legal adult 18-year-old. I'm 45. To me, an 18-year-old is a little girl. That's what they can say, right? That's what they could say. So they always have an out. They always have an out. And that's the problem that these people have. And the second problem you have with the Epstein files, the second problem you have with them, and this is exactly the problem I think Trump was worried about, is there's a lot of it that's just nonsense. And some of them are totally innocent interactions. Some of them are, some of them aren't even related to Epstein at all in the first place. Oh my, oh my, oh my. What are we going to do? We're going to do this. Okay. There's all sorts of problems here, guys. So the question we have to ask ourselves, I'll be the Punisher. We all wish we could be. I wish I could be, okay? But the fact of the matter is that there's far too many people and far too much dubious. Like, how do we know some of these emails are even real? Yeah, the FBI released it. But how many emails were destroyed? How many files were destroyed? How much destruction happened? And frankly, again, exactly the problem that I feared would happen has been happening. There have been more than a few files that have come out. So true. We're just doing a casual stream today, guys. I don't really game that much anymore, but far too many people just blindly trust everything that's being said in those files. There are some suggestions in the files that I think are revealing and true, but how much of it has been doctored? How much of it has been removed conveniently? How much of it has been faked? How much of it has been scrubbed and deleted? The Biden administration had these files for something like how long? They had those files for... I'll let you know in a second. They had these files for something like 4 years, and nothing happened with it. That tells me that there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Right? What do y'all think of the Punisher show? The Punisher show, I just don't... I find all of the Marvel slop. When I was younger, I really liked the superhero movies. I was when the first superhero movie came out, I was in middle school, so it was my bread and butter. But it's been a long time since then, and I can't be bothered to even care about any of that. Well, saying that there's something there, Caleb. My problem with saying that is, like, what do you mean by something is there? What do you mean by that? Right? I have no idea what that even means. If you mean, like, oh, there's some truth in there, that there are elites that are, you know, doing horrendous things to children and things like that, of course I believe that. But do I believe that it's going to lead to the mass undoing of these people? No, of course not. These people are not going to be undone. These people are not going to be undone by this, guys. They're not. It's going to embarrass some people. Bill Gates, embarrassed. Is Bill Gates going to go to jail? No. Never. There's not enough there. Right?
I think you can.
Do I think Bill Gates is a creepo who actually did some of the horrendous evil things that are implicated in there? Absolutely. But I also just don't even believe that some of it is real. And I know this is controversial for a lot of people. A lot of people want there to be something that there isn't. Caleb, I know that's what you said. I'm just iterating on what I think on the issue.
It's not the strongest, but it'll fight hard.
Oh, this is awful. I'll do that one. This will do that. Actually, I'll do that. There we go. No one ever goes to jail. Yo, yes, no one ever is gonna go to jail. Guys, that's the thing, is we gotta be realistic with what's gonna be happening. What's gonna happen is no one's gonna go to jail. Reputations are on the line, but no one's gonna go to jail, no. No one's gonna go to jail, no one's gonna end up and even the people that get embarrassed, like, do they really care all that much? Again, if you're one of these uber wealthy, uber rich people, why do you care? You know, like, why do you care? None of you, like, there's literally no reason for any of these people to care at all about any of this. You got to start being black-pilled, guys. No, never black-pill. That's stupid. It's retarded to black-pill.
How do you do it?
No, that's terrible. If you have unspent gold, no. Man, these are all awful. Absolutely awful. I got awful things this round. Okay, we'll just do these two then. Absolutely horrendous.
Great! I can bring in more powerful minions now.
Can't stop a good weed.
Absolutely awful, awful roll on that. Oh my gosh. You don't blackpill. Never blackpill. This isn't a deck build, guys. This is a battlegrounds, okay? You should learn the difference. After this round, we might go and respond to some of the stuff that I saw on the interwebs here. There has been a couple responses to orthodoxy. I got an atheist in my replies being stupid. Do you believe Vlad, the third emperor of Romania, should be considered a saint in the Orthodox Church? No.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
Vladimir the Impaler is a noble man. He's arguably a very good man. But he is not a saint in the church precisely because we don't really have a very good understanding of his piety at all. We don't know if he was a super pious person. He could have been. But there's just not very much evidence of it. So it is not... Really, it's just not our place to be doing this at all. We don't determine who's going to be a saint. And if someone has lived and died that long of a period of time... without being recognized as a saint, there's a clear reason the church hasn't done that, right? So we shouldn't be going around trying to saint people ourselves. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying that we shouldn't be going around trying to saint people because it's just not, like, clearly there's a reason the church did not see it in her wisdom. The church has said no. The Romanian church, the faithful, it's kind of, at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. We have 400 years of bishops and synods of the Romanian church then, who has chosen not to, despite what the faithful have said. So that suggests there's just not enough evidence of his piety. There's just not enough evidence of his piety. Someone can be a man that is brave and stands up against the Ottoman yoke and still not necessarily be a saint. That's really what it comes down to. It's like the people that try and canonize all sorts of random goobers throughout history. It just doesn't work. It really doesn't work at all. It's a bad idea generally, in my opinion, to... Oh, Lord have mercy, guys. This is rough. This is rough. I think my teammate's gonna pull it out, though. It's only a matter of time before he is. I mean, maybe. I just don't think it's our duty to be going around trying to do that on behalf of others. If the church sees it fit to do so, then great. If they don't, then, you know, fine. Like, I don't have a dog in the fight, so, like, it's not like the end of the world if they do. I just don't think that there's really much to be said, frankly. I think we're gonna do that.
I didn't like that one either. Here's a gold for the trouble. That's what I would have picked.
Jump to pieces!
I think we do this. I think that works. We'll do that. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. It's only a matter of time. Caleb W., I agree. St. Paisius was not black-pilled. Yeah, so you shouldn't black-pill. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, there's really no reason to black-pill. Let's be real, guys. There's really no reason to black-pill. If anything, you should be white-pilling that the Epstein files got released at all. Even if I think that, it does more harm than good at the long run, we should be white-pilling about that, right? I mean, in theory, that's what we should be doing, right?
You're doing great out there.
Lord have mercy, come on. Let's see if we can pull this out. We're definitely going to pull it out. That's good. Well, I'm happy for that. That's great. Makes me very happy. We survived! Alright. I believe in Christ pill, no matter what, how much bad is... Okay, well then don't say that you believed in the black pill earlier. Be consistent! Shoot, what do we do here? Set its starting stats to 6-6. That's pretty decent, but... What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Really don't want that. I think we go with this.
I see you can make the most of your moment.
Oh, you're moving up in the world. That one might
Awful rolls this game, guys. Awful rolls.
Sunder their city.
I think that's good enough. This world means something. You're wrong, PCOS. Paisios. This world does mean something. What are you talking about?
You could win this whole thing.
We should be worried about the world because it's fallen and there's people living in it. And frankly, Christians are called. Like this is another thing. Christians are actually called.
Dusk falls again.
Christians are actually called to bigger and better things, frankly. We're called to fight against the evils of this world. We should care about our government. We should care about the people in our leadership roles. Does that mean that's the end all be all and that like that's what our focus is? No, the emphasis should be on
You're doing
the
great
eternal,
out there.
but the material does affect the eternal, and I think a lot of people forget that. Oh Lord have mercy. This is not going to turn out pretty for me. I think we might lose, guys. This is not good. Oh, Lord of mercy. We're dead. We gone dead, guys. We're done dead. We are definitely dead. I had terrible rolls. Terrible rolls. That is what it is. We'll do one more round here, I think. It's definitely been interesting seeing people's reactions to the Epstein files, though. Some people seem to think it's the end-all, be-all, and then other people think that it's just kind of a nothing burger. And I tend to lean more towards nothing burger. Not that there's nothing that we've gotten from it that is cool. I just don't think that there's been a lot. I just don't think that there's been that much usefulness that's come from it. Really, I was hoping that John Thune would be in it so that we could kick that dirty, rotten bastard out so that we could actually pass some legislation, but, you know, it is what it is. Ooh, let's see. We're beasts, dragons, elementals, naga, undead. After a friendly minion kills an enemy, give it 1 attack permanently. Give friendly minions of each type 1/1. Improves after you spend... We'll do this. We'll do a mixed deck. How about that? I think we'll do mixed with tavern spells. We'll try that. I'm very awful at trying to predict what I'm going to get, so we'll play it by ear. I hope my teammate doesn't freaking leave. Choose somebody! Not fun. Not good, not good, not good.
What's your strategy this time, partner?
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Give each friendly minion 1/1.
The future is now.
All right. So, if you guys, after this game... No, I can't play the game Dominion. I don't even know what it is. I just like, dude, I'm just like chilling. I don't like games where I have to like
battle, friend.
over, especially when I'm streaming. My game, like, dude, my computer is not good enough to be streaming and gaming at the same time. So this is about the best you're gonna get. My computer is a slightly above average computer for gaming, slightly. But we will be doing some... I am taking requests now, so if you guys have requests of, like, some response videos that you want me to respond to, whether they're Protestant, Catholic, etc., we will be doing that. So, I'm not going to download a brand new game and try and learn a new game on stream. There you go. I made my decision.
You're doing great out there.
All the royals named in the E-files. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Again, no one's shocked that the royals were involved. The British royalty were involved. The British royalty have had no meaningful power since like 250 years ago.
Your minions really pulled their weight.
They really haven't. They haven't had any meaningful power. They aren't exactly the most independent of sources. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Not surprised by that at all. Well, it's true. All the European royalty essentially is compromised. There are a few that seem to be a little bit more aloof and divorced from it, but still. If the European royals actually had power and actually cared about their nation still, those royal families, they would have taken back control of their countries a long time ago and actually stopped the mass migration. But they don't care. So it's kind of like I get it. People want to hold accountable the royals, but they seem to think the royals actually have power. We want, like, if you're going to have an aristocratic class, you need to have a class that is actually, like, has the ability to do things. So, but yeah, if there's any videos, any theological, doesn't really matter, any videos you guys want me to respond to, now would be the time to get them out there while this game is going, so... He's not clergy, Disciple, by the way. So, Disciple says, I know he's clergy, but what's your opinion of Seraphim Adelaide, or whatever, I can't ever, Adelaide, I'm just going to say Adelaide, coming against Dyer and the such. First off, he's not clergy. This needs to be understood. Monastics are not necessarily clergy. Not all monastics serve in the altar. Okay? That's the first thing that needs to be understood. Second, he started his own monastery in the middle of nowhere, Scotland, completely divorced from the realities of the situation of the country that he's in. I think it's despicable that he is like, oh, these reactionary types. Your nation is literally being gang raped to death, and I'll say that, by Muslims, and your biggest concern is people being slightly mean to migrants on the internet and things of that nature, and like pearl clutching. I'm sorry. I have zero respect for that.
You're good at
And, you know, maybe he's just too divorced from it all to actually, maybe he's just divorced from it all. He doesn't really know what's going on. And so he's just kind of reacting to what's being said, right? That very well could be the case. But I am not inclined to be super positive toward somebody like that. When your focus is on like calling out like hyper niche individuals. So we're waiting for people. We're waiting for people to give me suggestions on what to react to, because I haven't decided yet. This might be funny to respond to. Archbishop of Canterbury releasing a statement. If you can find it, I will respond to it. I think that might be funny.
Everyone's gunning for you. Watch out.
I don't actually really mind. I actually don't mind all media. I don't think all media is degenerate. There's clearly good, wholesome media out there. So it's kind of hard to say all media. There's some anime that I know that are very wholesome animes that have good messages and are relatively benign and don't really have fan service or anything like that. So I mean, it really kind of depends on what your flavor, like what you care about, right? So I think that's the.
How do you do it?
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? At the end of your turn, get a random minion of your turn. I think that works for what we're going for, guys. We'll go with these two. Okay. Nicholai RTX 590 fun. If only, Mr. Fist. Thanks for the 10, Australian brother. Yeah, Mike. Like, if I had a better computer, I would play some Apex for you guys while streaming. I can play Apex on my computer. I just can't play Apex while streaming. The frickin' computer has a wheezing fit. But I can play Apex, and I like playing shooter games. I'm not that great at them, but I like playing them. Only a few thousand more and you can get a 550-90. Yeah, I know, right? The prices have been crazy, guys. Crazy. No, I mostly get pre-builds. And and people like, oh, you make a pre-build, you build your own computer. I used to build my own computer, guys. You play Civilization? No, because the Civilization games have become trash. They've become trash and woke. No, I play Sins of a Solar Empire. I play oldie games like Warcraft 3. $59.99 into thy hands for a sticker. Dude, God bless you. Thank you very much. That's really much appreciated. Pounds. It's pounds, or is that euros? I think those are euros. Euros. Thank you, brother. Yeah, but I just don't have, like, the thing is with all those games, there's DLCs, There's all that stuff, and I just don't
think you
have
can
the
win this
inclination
thing.
to get into a new strategy game. I like Sins of a Solar Empire. I like those older games. Sins of a Solar Empire 2 I have. That's a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys have ever played that. That's a lot of fun. So... Did you watch the debate with Aaron from COC on Transfigured Light? Thoughts? I did not actually watch that yet. I did not actually watch it. Does YouTube take much of a percentage of this? Less than Twitch. Less than Twitch. But they do take a good amount of it. They take like 25-30% or something like that. Which sucks, but you know, I'm not really doing this for a ton of money. It's nice side income. It's nice little like extra money here and there, but I don't do this for a living, so. Okay, what are we gonna do, guys? Oh my gosh, this is just awful. I don't even know what to do right now. Let's do this. Let's do this, I guess. We'll just get as much, like, you know what I'm gonna do? We're just gonna get as much out there as possible and just hope for the best. Oh my lord.
I and the wind beneath your wings.
What do we do? I think we do this. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. That was a bad idea. Oh my lord. Okay. See, guys, this is why I'm bad at this. Chinese war strategy, Zerg maxing. So true. Can we copy paste a YouTube video in the chat? No, just type the title in. Just type the title in. For some reason, YouTube is all funky about that kind of stuff, and I gotta figure out how to make that happen. I have to figure out how to do that. Actually, I am gonna be getting Streamlabs working on here so that people can super chat without having to give YouTube their monies. I haven't played COD since Modern Warfare. I have not played COD since Modern Warfare, so that tells you how long it's been for me. I haven't played COD, I haven't played Battlefield, I haven't played any of those. The only ones I've played, the only shooter games I've played is Apex. I'm okay at it. I'm not even that great. I'm okay at it.
And the wind
Does shamelessly papist, does Saint Ignatius disprove the... We can pin that. We'll pin that. Modern Warfare 1 was my first and really my last intro. Okay, so I guess we'll just do this and then this. That. I guess we do this too. I don't know, guys. This is crazy.
I like where you're going with this.
Shh. I guess we do that. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. This build is totally jacked. Totally jacked. Still Kingdom Hearts 2. So I actually played Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories on the DS. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. The story was totally incoherent. I still don't know exactly what that story was about. Still don't know what that story was about. This is Hearthstone Battlegrounds. So we're just playing this because I don't have any other games to play right now. But we're gonna be reacting. We're gonna be reacting to How do you say? We're going to be reacting to some content here soon. I was just waiting for the chat to kind of come up with what they want to. Be a real man, Nicholai. I play World of Warcraft 16 hours a day. I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft. My dad was an alpha, like a pre-alpha tester for World of Warcraft. He has a lifetime subscription from Blizzard. He never has to pay for it. So sometimes I'll use his account. But I don't really play anymore. And stuff like that, so. I wish I could play games all the time and just watch brain rot. We all, everyone kind of wishes they could be a little lazy, but I just don't think it's good for you generally. Your battle cries, death rattles, and rallies trigger twice. That's too good to pass up. I suppose we do this. What do we do? What do we do when they're coming for you? I suppose we get rid of this. Don't really need that anymore. Okay, we can get rid of that. I don't need that anymore. This is awful, guys. Awful. What do we do? Give that, I think. Okay. That's all we're doing. Awis Goaded says, why St. Ignatius should make you an atheist is going to be the next video. That's hilarious. Are we gonna literally? Yeah, we're gonna make me watch videos about video games or videos about Saint Ignatius. I mean, I'm fine with that. I just kind of not exactly sure. I'm an RPG fan, especially Kingdom Hearts 2 combat. I don't know. I don't really have any sort of inclination towards any sort of gaming. I guess my preferred would be games like Sins of a Solar Empire 2, Warcraft 3. I do like RTS a lot. But I'm fine with. I've played a lot of MMOs over the years. I've played shooters. I don't really have a genre that I'm like, absolutely. I used to play a lot of PlanetSide 2. Fantastic game that they never really came out with a sequel to meaningfully, which they really should because it's a phenomenal game. And they don't even need to really come out with like new tech on it or anything like that, really. PlanetSide 2, they really just need to come out with the game. The new game they need to come out with is like that was brutal. Dude, we guys got just jacked up. Holy crap.
Rough battle? pick yourself back up.
Lord of
and turn it
mercy,
around.
this is annoying.
Go ahead and hire one of these recruits. That's what I would have picked.
All things pass.
Better hire a recruit while you can.
What do I do, guys? Maybe this? I think this. This probably works.
I'll save these ones for later.
I wish you well.
Actually, I'm going to do that. What are you doing? Oh, he's supposed to send that back. See, this is why I hate teammates, guys. He's supposed to send it back to me. What a jackass.
Better hire a recruit while you
What a absolute POS. POS. All right. Buy a cup of king sauce. Yeah, after, guys, we're going to be going and watching some videos right after this. So after this round, we'll see if we survive. It's highly questionable. Hopefully we can get a dub. We can get a dub before we quit. Did you get the article I sent about Canterbury's Archbishop's statement? I have to check. I haven't been able to check yet. Hold on.
exactly what you were looking for.
Fly high through the sky.
Not exactly what it says. Okay, we'll do that. We'll keep that, I guess. Game is bugged out because it's like it still has that sound in the background that's just obnoxious. So we have this. Give each friendly minion 10/10. So that's going to be each of each type. So we have one beast, one out of 5. So we have one beast, one Naga, elemental, and a dragon, but we're missing an undead. We might need to find an undead, guys, because that will give us that final They'll give us that final amount. They'll give us that final push. So in fact, it might be worthwhile to replace this bad boy with an undead.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
Bro. Dude, we crushed them. All right, we might win this. We might win this. This is between us and the final people.
Really
We either survive this round or we don't. So let's see what happens, guys. Oh, Lord of mercy. Do I need this? We'll do this.
That's what I would have picked.
Your leftmost elemental. I guess we get rid of that. I mean, there's really no point in having anything else besides heavy-duty crap. All right. All right. That's all we got. We either win or we lie. We either win or we die. Let's see what you guys say. Should I buy a book by Winston Churchill or should I buy another book on orthodoxy? Why would you want to read about Winston Churchill? That's my answer. David Irving is okay. He has better books about other figures than Winston Churchill. I would like to see a bit where Captain America or Iron Man asks Thor about what's with all the human sacrifices 1,000 years ago. Yeah, that would be amusing. Now, we either win or we die, guys. If he dies, he dies. My teammate sucks! I suck too, though. So, I mean, there's not much to be said. How is this guy not buffing? He's got Azurite Dragon, and he's not buffing his powers? I don't get it. Alright, we lost. It's alright, this annoying background music is gonna end at least. Freaking bugged out. If you've bought a lot of books on Orthodoxy, then read those books first before you buy new books. Alright guys, we're We're gonna pull up. You see me rolling my front lawn. Okay, let's pull up this. Somebody said, why Saint Ignatius of Antioch should make you Protestant by biblical understanding. Lovely.
Base 44.
One of the most egregious lies in the world today is that if you read the writings of the early church fathers, you'll have no choice but to abandon Protestantism and convert to either Roman Catholicism or Eastern Orthodoxy.
Ah, yes. Those silly, silly lies. Oh, good lord. This guy's a retard. Unconditional election in the Apostolic Fathers. Church history is Calvinist. Oh my lord. Harmonizing St. Ignatius with Presbyterianism. Protestants agree with St. Ignatius on the Eucharist. No, they don't! Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I should know better. I should know better. Why are you guys trolling me with this? This is such low-tier slop. Oh, my lord. But we gotta do it. We gotta do it. We're gonna do it. This guy probably typed in on... Okay. There we go. I got what I needed up. I got it pulled up. We're going to go into it, guys.
And of all the early church fathers, Ignatius of Antioch is the one more than any other who is appealed to as the church father that Protestant.
Well, no, okay, first off, St. Ignatius is not the one and only church father that we point to, and he's not even the biggest one, I would argue. I think he is one of them because he's one of the earliest, but we point to St. Athanasius, St. Ignatius, St. Irenaeus, St. Polycarp, St. Dionysius, with the Dionysian corpus. We have we have the Cappadocians. We have, like, we can go on and on. St. John Chrysostom, St. Augustine. Like, none of these people agreed with you, and none of them were Calvinist. None of them. Period. End of story.
Protestants fear the most, or the church father who single-handedly proves the Roman or Eastern church.
I guarantee you this is an AI-generated video. Not in the sense that he did the whole thing, but I guarantee you he basically scripted out 90% of it by going to ChatGPT and saying, give me quotes that prove St. Ignatius was Calvinist! And then just proceeded to do this. Nicholai, did your daughter turn on the lights yet? That's a good question. Jaden! Jaden! I don't know. She's not answering. I probably should go check and make sure she's alive. I'll be back, guys. All right, good news, guys. All right, guys. Good news, she's alive. She's just not awake yet. She's crashed. I'm surprised because she's like, this is late. This is it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. It is 9 o'clock, and she is. Hold on. I just dropped something. Hold on. So yeah, she is passed out, guys. I'm gonna have that open. I'm gonna want something a little bit warmer. Okay. We'll just have that open for a little bit. All right. Let's get into this. Is she homeschooled? No, it's Korea. Korea, they have like a almost 2.5 month break. They have like almost a 2.5 month break starting during Christmas, and it goes all the way through to March. It's the Lunar New Year break. So they have 2 breaks in Korea. They have a break for winter, and then they have a break during summer, and each one is about 1.5 to 2 months long. So people are like, Korea is so brutal. They just make the kids study all day. Dude, they have more breaks because they also have week-long breaks in the fall and the spring as well. They have so many breaks during school. It's actually kind of crazy. The people that put so much pressure on Korean kids are actually the parents. It's not the schools. The schools don't do it. It's not even the government either.
Many have unfortunately fallen for these wild claims. But, and I mean this with no exaggeration, they could not possibly be further from the truth.
Ah, really?
As someone who has read all of Ignatius's letters multiple times over, I continue to be both frustrated and disappointed at the number of people I see online, on social media, regurgitating these exaggerated claims, even saying that Ignatius himself was the very reason why they left Protestantism to become Roman Catholic or Eastern Orthodox. So I'll just start off the video by getting straight to the point and say that Ignatius of Antioch cannot possibly be the church father that Protestants fear the most, because there is not a single...
No, okay, let's say he's not the one you have to fear the most. He's just the beginning. He's just the start of all the different ones that you have to fear as a Protestant. All of the different ones. Listen, we could go all day long quoting early church fathers, proving orthodoxy.
Single thing in any of his genuine...
Guys, I've read his letters multiple times.
writings that contradicts Protestant theology. Not a single word, not a single sentence, not a single verse, nowhere to be found in any of Ignatius's writings
Really?
that directly disproves or contradicts Protestant.
Okay, Mr. Tough Guy. Okay, freaking wise ass. All right, that's fine. That's fine. All right, we're going to do this then. Let us read from his epistle to the Ephesians, 22, from Ignatius, okay? Take care then to use one Eucharist, for there is one flesh of our Lord Jesus Christ and one cup for union with his blood. What does union with his blood mean, dumbass? Oh, that's not Christian to swear. Okay, shut up. There is one flesh of our Lord Jesus Christ. He doesn't say, it's symbolic, bro. It's symbolic, bro. One flesh. One cup for union with his blood. One altar. Where's the altar in the Protestant church, jackass? I've read all of his letters. Where's the altar? Okay. Where's the altar in any Protestant church? Maybe Lutherans have it. You're Calvinist. You're defending Calvinism. He's literally right here. He has 4 videos. Church history is Calvinist. Protestants agree with Ignatius. Ignatius was a Calvinist on the doctrine of election. Okay, one doctrine. Let's just pretend that Calvinism is one doctrine. You're a liar. He's a liar. This guy is a liar. All right, let's continue to read this quote. Just as there is one bishop together with the presbyter and the deacons. One bishop. Where's your bishops? Where are your bishops and priests and deacons? Where are they? It continues. Break one bread, which is the medicine of immortality and the antidote to keep from dying. That doesn't sound like symbolic Eucharist, dumbass, but to live forever in Jesus Christ. Dude, it's over. It's over. Done. Nada. Zilch. Over. He continues in his letter to the Sumerians. You can read this one as well. They, the heretics he's referring to, abstain from the Eucharist and prayer because they do not confess that the Eucharist is the flesh of our Savior Jesus Christ, who has suffered for our sins and which the Father in his goodness raised up. I don't see any Calvinist. Holy crap, dude, I'm going to lose my mind. Let that be, so he, in his letter Sumerians, he also continues on later, let that be considered a valid Eucharist, which is celebrated by the bishop or whom he appoints, priest. So remember, the priests can only confer the Eucharist because they've been granted permission and given authority by the bishop, because the priest was appointed by the bishop. The priests in of themselves have no ability to do that. It is because of the authority given to them by the bishop that they have the ability to do that. It is not lawful to either baptize or to hold any feast without the blessing of a bishop, or a bishop, it says, but basically the blessing of a bishop. But whatever he approves is also pleasing to God, so that everything you do may be secure and valid. That's not Protestant ecclesiology, dude. We have to be careful when we're talking about Ignatius. Saint Ignatius's doctrine on the election is not the technical Calvinist sense of predestination. He is not using it in the same sense. This is a word concept fallacy. You are a people of God, a people of election, a people of love. That's what he's probably going to go to, okay? Or he'll go to this verse, for as this writing from Saint Ignatius, for as many as are of God and of Jesus Christ, these are with the bishop, and as many shall in repentance return to unity of the church. These two shall belong to God, and they may live according to Jesus Christ. Guys, guess what? That doesn't mean the doctrine of election from a Calvinist point of view. Calvinists believe that you were decreed from before all time to be elect. That is not a doctrine of election that suggests that. In repentance. Duh. You don't have free will as a Calvinist. Okay. So that's enough. We'll continue on. We'll listen
theology.
to this guy.
I've said it before on this channel, and I'll say it here again. For those who disagree, I simply challenge you to find one single thing that Ignatius says that contradicts Protestant.
Guys, did we just find, like, how many, guys, counting based on what we just went through, how many times did you think Protestantism was contradicted in real time just by the 4 quotes that I asked, that I read?
Theology. And I have yet to actually hear anything that contradicts Protestant theology because, as I just said, there is nothing that Ignatius says that isn't in harmony with classical Protestantism.
I actually had gone to therapy when I was like pregnant, and everything was like stabilized. Everything was doing.
So the simple logical.
Wow. Therapy. Guys, stop arguing. I don't understand what's going on.
argument looks something like this. Ignatius of Antioch is claimed to be the church father that Protestants fear the most, but...
Well, the reason that Protestants would fear him is because he's one of the earliest ones, and he clearly is not Protestant. Clearly. Just based on the verses that we went over, clearly they're not.
Protestants don't fear Ignatius of Antioch. And if Protestants don't even fear the church father that we supposedly fear the most, then that should therefore allow us to logically conclude that Protestants don't fear any of the church fathers. To put it another way, if Ignatius of Antioch is supposed to be the best example of a church father disproving Protestantism, and he doesn't disprove Protestantism, then therefore none of the church fathers disprove Protestantism.
Did he just make that argument? Oh my lord. Guys, he cannot have just made that argument. He cannot. Guys, do me a favor. If I have to suffer through this, you all have to be sharing this live stream. Go share the live stream. In fact, I got to share the live stream. I haven't even done it, so I'm being a hypocrite. Let me go share the live stream. There we go. I shared it. I hope you guys all did so as well. Okay. Oh, that was one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard somebody make. Like, this is the level of scholarship with these Protestants, dude. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Protestantism. So why am I making this video? I'll have much more to say about that at the very end, but at least for now.
Dude, I can tell you this much. St. John Chrysostom, the Cappadocians, St. Athanasius, and we can go on and on and on, are not Protestant.
I'll just say that I'm simply a classical Protestant who cares about church history, including...
You're a Calvinist, not a classical Protestant. The Calvinists and the classical Protestants got in a lot of fights, though there are some levels of agreement. And even to say classical Protestant is just incoherent. You're a Calvinist.
Ignatius of Antioch, and is deeply concerned about the propaganda spreading online from Roman Catholics and Eastern Orthodox, insisting that Ignatius of Antioch should scare people away from what classical Protestantism actually teaches. I haven't seen many responses outlining what Ignatius actually says in particular, and so I hope in this video we can display that not only does Ignatius not...
Okay, we don't need... Why? How? 3 minutes for an opening. Oh my lord.
But even more than that, in the description, but for the sake of presbyters, and this can be seen throughout all objections, is that Ignatius affirms a strong distinction between bishops and presbyters.
Yes, he
does. This can be seen throughout all of his writings. Now, there's no doubt that Ignatius distinguishes between bishops and presbyters. That's obvious.
You don't have bishops and presbyters, dude!
Obvious enough. But the question we're dealing with here is whether or not this disproves classical Protestantism. And furthermore, in regard to this topic, we should also be asking ourselves, what does Ignatius mean when he distinguishes between bishops and presbyters?
The same way all of his contemporaries understood it, dude. You don't see him contradicting his contemporaries.
Now, most people will just naturally assume that the distinction between bishops and presbyters is one of ontological office. That is to say that bishops and presbyters are different in terms of their actual office and not just functional roles in the church. As I've argued for in previous videos, and will do so again here in just a few moments, I don't believe that this is necessarily the case. But even for the sake of argument...
Why do we care what you believe? The scholarship is overwhelmingly against you. The early church fathers did not view bishops and presbyters as the same thing. Okay? Overwhelmingly don't agree with you. So why do we accept your interpretation of Ignatius? See, that's the problem, is that he's just asserting it.
Even if we were to assume that, yes, Ignatius believes there is a ontological distinction between bishops and presbyters in terms of office, my question is, how does that disprove Protestantism?
Because Protestants don't have an ontological distinction between bishop and presbyter. They don't believe in bishops. They don't believe bishops have authority. St. Ignatius believed the bishops were vital to the church. You guys don't believe that. You guys don't believe that it's vital to have a bishop overseeing the church. You guys don't believe it's vital to have a presbyter in the church because you don't have an altar. Saint Ignatius believed the bishops and the presbyters were necessary because there was an altar.
Because Anglicanism is a Protestant tradition that affirms the bishop-presbyter distinction. Lutheranism...
Anglicanism, oh my gosh, Anglicanism is arguably not even Protestant. But even if you argue that, they don't agree with you either, Calvinist. You're not Anglican, so why do we care? Lutherans barely have a bishop, and they believe in the right to private judgment. So they ultimately don't believe the bishops have any meaningful authority over you.
Is another Protestant tradition in which some Lutheran churches also affirm the bishop and presbyter distinction.
Dude, I'm about to crash out on this Calvinist, bro. I'm about to crash out. The JVS gamer says, bro, even the Anglicans, at least the traditional ones, hated Protestantism. Yes, they did. He's not Lutheran or Anglican, so why is he using them? Exactly! You're a Calvinist! Lutherans are not Calvinists, bro.
If this on its own is supposed to disprove Protestantism, and yet there are Protestant
It's not on its own. That's just one example of dozens of examples. Oh my Lord.
that embrace the bishop-presbyter distinction of office, then you have failed in your mission of showing how Ignatius disproves Protestantism, because these models of church government are found in Protestant traditions.
They're
However,
not
as I've
found
said,
there.
though,
Oh my
I don't
Lord.
believe that this distinction between bishops and presbyters in Ignatius's language is necessarily one of office. Rather, it can be read as one of function, in which the bishop is a...
You would have to show a continuity of that interpretation of Ignatius. You would have to show that his contemporaries disagreed with him, or you'd have to show the practicality of that being instituted. I don't know. What is it? I don't know. Where is it? You're going to have to go find it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. Ignatian Presbyterianism? Where is this laid out in Ignatius? Yes, I was. I was, because I was waiting for people to decide what they wanted me to react to, and they wanted me to react to cancer.
Presbyter who is singled out for the purposes of church unity. I won't go into the full argument here for Ignatian Presbyterianism, as I've already made a video on that, and I don't want to make
the PCA, PCUSA. Oh yeah, yeah. You got real unity there, real unity there. This is bad, guys. You owe me big time for reacting to this bullshit.
This video too particularly long, but for the sake of summary, I'll just simply say that if we were to interpret Ignatius's words in an explicit bishop-presbyter distinction of office, then that would leave the Church of Rome of all churches in the first century in a pretty awkward...
This guy would get demolished in any debate he's in. You give me 6 days, like 6 days to gather church father material, gather some quotes, and to just formulate an argument, he wouldn't stand up to even the most basic of scrutiny.
Awkward position, because Clement, a bishop of the Church of Rome in the first century, affirms a two-office view of...
Okay, hold on. So what is he going to lie about Clement here? Therefore, preaching among the regency, they appointed their first fruits, testing them by the Spirit to be bishops and deacons of the future believers. That's not a two... What are you talking about? That doesn't say what you're saying. And this is nothing new. For much time since when has been written about bishop and deacons, for somewhere the bishops, I will appoint their bishops in righteousness and their deacons in faith. That doesn't... What? That doesn't say what you're suggesting. Clement is not saying that there is only these roles. Oh my Lord. Can you imagine being this dishonest? one irrefutable argument against, let me guess, it's just more slop. We actually, the early centuries really did teach the filioque. It's going to be more of that slop. I don't even know why.
Of church government. And Ignatius, in his letter to the Trallians, says that a church must have a singular bishop in order to be recognized as a church. Therefore, if an ontologically distinct bishop is necessary for a church to be a church, and the Church of Rome doesn't have that in the first century, then that means that the Church of Rome is not a true church. So again, that's just one point of the many.
What? That doesn't follow, you idiot! And also that isn't following the history. There was always a bishop over these places. And then in the first century, most of the apostles were still alive. We are still in the apostolic era. Dummy. The last apostle died in the first century.
Arguments that I lay out for Ignatian Presbyterianism. Those who use Ignatius to attack Protestants will often assume that because Ignatius holds to this distinction, then therefore he must obviously be Roman Catholic, or he must obviously be Eastern Orthodox. When in reality, all of us are in the same boat. We all agree that there is some distinction of bishops and presbyters in the church.
No, you don't! Oh my gosh. Unto this Catholic visible church Christ hath given the ministry, oracles, and ordinances of God for the gathering and perfecting of the saints in this life and the end of the world, and doth his own presence and spirit according to his... That doesn't say anything! What, does he think this supports his position? It doesn't say anything! It's so vague, it's meaningless. This could mean anything. It's just a word. It's literally, Danny Town says, it's literal word salad. It has no meaning here at all. And it doesn't relate at all to what we're saying a bishop is. Saint Ignatius said, if there is no unity with the bishop, there is no church. Where does that say this? All this is saying is that Christ gave ministry, oracles, and ordinances of God for the gathering and perfecting of the saints. What does this even mean? This doesn't mean anything. Oh my Lord, I'm going to crash out. I'm going to freaking crash out on these dishonest rats.
We all agree that church unity is necessary. We all agree that church leadership, the visible church, these are all vital aspects of the Christian faith. So this does nothing to disprove Protestantism. And even for those who appeal to other words of Ignatius, where he says that a bishop is necessary for a valid Eucharist, we as classical Protestants, again, shout from the rooftops, amen. No,
you don't! There's only two sacraments ordained by Christ our Lord in the gospel that says baptism and the supper of the Lord, neither of which may be dispensed by anyone but the minister of the word, lawfully ordained. Again, meaningless. What does lawfully ordained mean? You guys do not believe that anyone can be of a position of authority over others. You believe in the right of private judgment. The Westminster Confession of Faith contradicts itself. Second, you don't believe the Eucharist is the literal body and blood of Christ. Ignatius did. You guys didn't believe that. Oh my Lord, this guy is such a dishonest little rat.
We agree that church leadership is necessary to have a valid Eucharist. It's written in our confessions. Only ordained ministers can properly administer.
They're not ordained by who? A seminary? Ordained by who? Who is a validly ordained seminarian? Come on, tell me. How do you know they're validly ordained? How do you know they're a validly and lawfully ordained minister? How do you know? Oh, because they went and studied at a Bible college? Who gave that Bible college the authority to appoint ministers of the faith? Who gave them that authority? The bishop? Was there a bishop? Did a bishop do that? As Pengy says, good question, yeah.
Minister the sacrament of the body and blood of the Lord. Those who make this objection against Protestants are in reality just presupposing and reading into Ignatius their own Roman Catholic or...
That's what you're doing! Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, you're just reading your presuppositions into it. What do you you think you're doing? Guys, I'm gonna die of an aneurysm. My slop's better than your slop. Oh my lord. We're gonna skip past this. Strawmans. He's gonna go into Eastern Orthodox. Alright. Can we all just acknowledge real quick the damage that Redeem Zoomer has done with these stupid videos by providing these ridiculous circles representing each group, and now everybody uses the same ones. He has done irreparable harm to slideshows everywhere. So this doesn't follow bishop presbyter distinction. We all affirm that. He says Reformed do. Reformed don't even have presbyters, dude. I grew up Reformed. We don't have presbyters. We have pastors. No one believes in a bishop presbyter distinction in a Reformed group. No Calvinist holds to that. He's a liar. Anglicans can hardly be considered Protestant, and even then they don't hold to, they hold to branch theory, which is a heresy anyway. So who cares what the Anglicans believe? And then the Lutherans, theirs is a giant stretch as well. Real presence of the Christ in the Eucharist. Reformed, Lutherans, and Anglicans do not believe that it is the literal body and blood of Christ. They don't believe that. So you're lying. Anglicans, maybe. Reformed and Lutherans, hell no. And you can't lump Anglicans as classical Reformed. They wouldn't want to be lumped into it either. Anglicans are their own category. Claiming Anglicans are Protestant is retarded. I would say they're Protestant in the sense that they are a schismatic heterodox sect, but lumping them in with the Protestant reformers is stupid. Doesn't follow at all. They believe they're Catholic. The early Anglicans believed they were the rightful inheritors of the Catholic Church.
Of Christ in the Eucharist. Nothing that Ignatius says would force you to stop being Protestant.
Yes, it would.
But as I said in the beginning of this video, there are many things that Ignatius does say that would force you to stop being Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox. There are 5 points in particular in which Protestants wholeheartedly agree with Ignatius of Antioch, but Roman Catholics and or Eastern Orthodox do not, showing that out of all the traditions, it is the Protestant traditions alone which have perfect harmony with Ignatius's theology. The first point is unconditional election. In chapter 3, verse 1 of his letter to
refrain from the evil plants which Jesus Christ does not cultivate, because they are not a planting of the Father. All right. That doesn't say unconditional election, you dummy, and you dishonest rat.
the Philadelphians, Ignatius warns the church to refrain from the evil plants which Jesus Christ does not cultivate because they were not planted by the Father. Which brings us to a logical argument. If those who are not planted by the Father are heretics, and Christians are not heretics, then that therefore means that Christians are planted by the Father. The planting of the Father takes place before one comes to faith in Jesus Christ. In fact,
wow, where does that say that in Ignatius? Where was any of this model right here in Ignatius? Wow, it seems like maybe you are smuggling in some ideas and concepts that aren't there. Oh, my wife is already out of the house. My daughter's the only one here. My daughter's probably slowly getting enraged.
In fact, it actually causes it, not the other way around. Elsewhere in his letters, he again affirms this language of the planting of the Father.
They would appear as branches of the cross, and their fruit would be imperishable, but which he's suffering, he calls you who are his members. This doesn't say it either.
The ability to bear his own complicity, but by the grace of God, according to the divine will. And for those interested in a further in-depth study,
the grace of God is offered to all people. We synergize our will with his. This can be read in multiple ways. You're just being dishonest like your typical rat, like these typical rats are.
you can refer to previous videos of mine, which will be in the description. It is obvious that unconditional election is taught in the 9th chapter of Paul's.
I don't care about your
The
interpretation.
confession goes even further than that, not justified, for example, by name. However, it is explicitly.
Oh, great. He's going to use the confession of Dositheus, again, taking most of it out of context, to try and claim that we don't agree with St. Ignatius. Okay.
Rejected by the Eastern Orthodox Church. For example, in the 3rd decree of the Confession of Dositheus, the Eastern Church says that God does not justify the one and condemn the other without cause. He does so because he foreknew that one would make a right use of their free will and another wrong. The confession goes even further than this to call that heresy, what the Apostle Paul taught, what Ignatius affirmed, that God did not take the future works of people into consideration before predestining or condemning them. So we see that unconditional election is an apostolic.
Okay. I can't do it anymore, guys. He's a rat. Can't do it. Can't do it. We'll go and see if he has any other videos worth looking at. The Church Fathers had a Protestant epistemology, sola scriptura. Oh my gosh. This guy's a brand new channel, isn't he? Let me see. Oh, never mind. He's irrelevant. Was Augustine a Protestant? No. Was Athanasius a Protestant? No. Was Clement of Rome a Protestant? No. I mean, these are easy, and like Athanasius believed in penal substitution. No, he didn't. Word conceptually offered as a substitute. Substitutionary language and penal language does not presuppose your penal substitutionary atonement model, dummy. Limited atonement is true. No, it's not. Here, I'm responding to all of his videos, guys, right now. The Reformed view of the Lord's Supper is supported by the Didache. No, it's not. The Epistle of Barmesis is extremely Reformed. No, it's not. How Romans 4 turned me into a Presbyterian because you have reading comprehension issues. Covenant theology is not Protestant invention. Yes, it is. Why Presbyterian baptism is correct? It's not. Yes, yes, Clement of Rome believed in sola fide. No, he didn't. Underrated argument for sola scriptura by Augustine's Confessions, taking it out of context. No one cares what you say. Athanasian view of total depravity on the incarnation. He didn't have a view of total depravity. You don't know what you're talking about. See, guys, you want to go into more? Yeah, Jay, as much as I love Jay's streams, I can't go in, like, I just don't care enough about the Epstein stuff to go over it time and time and time again. I know Jay feels very, very vindicated by it. Sola fide in the Apostolic Fathers, that wasn't there. Polycarp's explanation how we're saved, sola fide. No, it's not. Does the Didache really teach credo baptism? Yes, it does. Refuting dispensational and using only... Okay, yeah, who cares? I agree. Dispensationalism is false. Okay, great. Ignatius believes Protestant churches are valid churches. No, he doesn't. What exactly is the definition of a sacrament? You wouldn't have one, dude. Baptism proves assurance of salvation. No, it doesn't. Oh my lord, this guy will never debate anybody, will he? He makes a lot of lofty claims. You want to bet this guy would never in a million years debate Alex Soren or any of us other people? This is just low tier slop. Low tier slop. Absolute garbage. This is absolutely crazy. All right. Well, let's see what's going on here.
순간 제 눈에 확 띄더라고요.
게임 회사에 취업하고 싶다고요? 포트폴리오에 이거 없으면 탈락입니다. 바로 게임 출.
And the other is like, I think when they raided Epstein's house, can't remember which house it was. I think it was the one. Didn't he have a house in Florida or something? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, the house in Florida where they raided it, and he's like shaking his hand like they're kind of ending the audience or initially introducing each other.
Right. I think you're right. That is what it's referring to. But why is that? Why is it not possible that when he went to that audience, he stayed there?
Well, I don't think that there's any proof substantially of, based on the scrutiny that St. John Paul II's beatification was put under, and the fact that, you know, there has been this kind of poise against him.
Oh, guys, they put him under. They put St. John Paul II under a Saint John Paul II under a lot of scrutiny. Therefore, he couldn't possibly not have connections to Epstein. That just doesn't make any sense. The church couldn't get this wrong. Well, maybe your church is wrong. I mean, that, like, how does that follow at all? It's just ridiculous. It's just, this is why Pine Sap is like retarded, and the fact that so many people jumped on this guy's bandwagon and gave him a platform is embarrassing.
Especially in regards to, you know, the sex abuse crisis or what have you, that from those crises.
John Paul II covered up so much sexual abuse in the Roman Catholic Church. It was devastating to your guys' church. Your church never fully recovered from all of those scandals in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
We would have seen something as like a link to Epstein or sort of some kind of collusion going on. None of that's come up. And I think this email too, like, even if he was living kind of in the city of Rome, like, you know, when I stayed there or whatever, like at an Airbnb or a hostel, I don't see any kind of collaboration having between the two. I think it's an argument from silence.
Right. Well, did you read the email? I'm not trying to be a dick. Did you read it?
Yeah, I read the email.
Okay. So it's not possible that they discussed architecture and John Paul wanting certain columns?
They could have discussed architecture during the audience. I don't deny that. But I think, again, what I've seen people do is try to overextend the story and say,
why would John Paul II have a private meeting where he's having a one-on-one discussion with an infamous billionaire pedophile? It was not, by the way, it was as early as the 90s and early 2000s, etc., that it was well known that I mean, it was well known for a long time that Epstein was a diddler of children.
St. John Paul II was in on this like global pedophile cabal. That's the thing I'm criticizing. I have, you know, if they talked about architecture when he like met with them or whatever, that could be perfectly possible. I just don't think that there's any connection that is invoking a deeper collusion going on.
Did you see the email where he explains to Larry Summers the inner workings of the Vatican Bank?
Yes, I did see that. And I don't deny for an instant, I made it clear during the space, I don't know if you heard it, but there's been corruption in the Vatican Bank for a long time. I've never once
denied then that. What has the Pope done about it, dummy? Oh, there's corruption in the Vatican Bank. Okay, the Pope is supposed to be over the entire Vatican. He is the head honcho. He is the end and the beginning of all of that stuff. Why the hell is that still a problem? Why is it that not a single Pope has done anything about it? By the way, whoever's recording this, Jay Dyer Archive, 30% battery, dude. Come on. Charge your shit.
But I think with that corruption, as we know, there's been several popes that have tried to clear that up, tried to reform that and reform the Vatican Bank, and it's almost been...
Have they been successful? We know that several popes have tried. Okay, have they been successful? Because as far as I'm aware, the Vatican Bank is still funding and still controlled by various interests that are not clearly Catholic. They're Jewish.
Operating like a separate entity in some ways. With I believe there was the mafia participating in kind of some of its dealings and what was going on with it.
Mm-hmm. And the CIA.
Yes, and the CIA, of course.
Right. But it would seem like the knowledge of that inner working of the Vatican Bank being, so intimately connected with the Mossad, that might also have perhaps a relationship to John Paul's relationship with the Mossad. Are you familiar with that?
But I don't see the evidence for that and how that pertains to Epstein. Because, considering
Epstein was obviously, so Epstein was obviously Mossad, right?
Yes, of course.
Everybody agrees with that, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right. So are you aware of the Vatican establishing relationships with the Mossad?
I don't know. I would disagree with Jay slightly here. I would say Epstein was clearly a tool of many intel agencies, not just Mossad. He was kind of the middleman. Whether Mossad was he's the one that created it or something else is irrelevant.
Criticism that he had of our entrance into the Iraq War. I think if there was a deeper connection there, you would have seen almost more of a philo-Semitic attitude of not criticizing when Israel was taking a very clear military action to try and dislodge one of its enemies from the Middle East. And St. John Paul II was one of the loudest voices protesting our 2003 entrance in that war.
Well, that's true and so Francis as well. But
of course,
saying things against the U.S., encroachments into the Middle East really is nothing compared to what they said in regard to Judaism itself. You have Benedict saying that Judaism exists as a covenant on its own. Have you read his book, Many Religions, One Covenant?
Yes, I have. And in that same book, he talks about supersessionism. I have the direct quote from it as well.
Yeah, but he says that the Old Testament can be read legitimately in a rabbinic way. Do you agree with that?
In that book, what he's trying to establish is the idea of the perspective that Judaism is operating from in order to carry ecumenical dialogue and lead to the conversion of Jews.
That's such a bullshit. What a cop-out answer. What a cop-out answer. Man, Pine Sap and all these guys, man, they just cop out. What a ridiculous cope. Oh, but we're just being super we're just being super contradictory in our theologies just so that we can convert them, bro. Trust me, bro. That's the only reason that we're being that contradictory in our theology.
You got to keep in mind, right? I can't remember if this was before his papacy ended or right after it. He wrote an essay essentially talking again about supersessionism. It was called An Anti-Semite for that.
Well, all that proves is that they say conflicting things. So, this is like when
I would disagree with that.
What?
Because
here's the thing. If he just admitted that it was conflicting. You just admitted that it was conflicting, but it's for a good purpose. Oh my gosh. This is insane, guys. Insane.
If he's promoting dispensationalism, why wouldn't he just keep a similar line?
That's a straw man. When did I say that?
I'm not saying you said that. That's what I'm.
Yeah, but you're talking to Jay Pine.
Why are you bringing in dispensationalism?
I'm saying that would be his consistent line. I'm not straw manning you, Jay. A very clear difference here.
So again,
he would be holding a consistent. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Dispensationalism. I said that he says that the Old Testament can legitimately be read apart from Christ in the rabbinical way. How is that promoting ecumenical dialogue and converting Jews when the Vatican has said multiple times, do not proselytize Jews?
What all the post-Vatican II popes have said in regards to Jews and a non-salvific covenant is exactly what Pope Innocent III.
That's not what they say. They don't say a non-salvific covenant, bro.
Third said, which is they are a witness people, meaning they are a witness to what happens in, Revelation, right? The idea that
he's not answering the question that Jay just brought up. Dude, he's not actually answering. Jay said, why is it that your Pope said not to try and convert the Jews? And now he's going off on a tangent. It's a complete tangent. It's not answering the question.
All the Jews will convert. All the Jews will accept Christ.
$5 from Pius. Next video, please do Saint Ignatius disprove the papacy by shamelessly papist. I mean, I can try and watch it. I'm not dedicated to any one video right now. I don't think that it's. I've seen all the arguments papists make about Saint Ignatius as well as any of the other saints. I've seen all of them. I don't know how. We could take a look maybe.
Christ at the end of time, and that their existence in terms of not being well. Hold on. Hold on. You got on to me about interrupting. Don't interrupt me as well. Hold on, Jay. You got on to me about not interrupting. I'm finishing. Okay. We gotta have a two-way street here. I'll respect your time. You gotta respect mine. What that's saying is that
Gish gallop, gish gallop, gish gallop, gish gallop. Hold on, Jay. Respect my time. Respect my time, Jay.
There is still missions to the Jews supported, right? It's even been, I think one of the societies that's come up recently has been like the St. James Society of Hebrew Catholics within Israel. And that is a society that has papal approval and has a mission to the Jews, right? It's even gotten Cardinal Pizzaballa's signature.
Who cares if there is a papally approved group that is to reach out to Jewish people? That just means that there's a contradiction in your position.
And stuff like that hasn't been condemned.
Have you read Covenant and Mission?
Covenant and Mission by, yes, the document that refers to the whole proselytism line.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app with Base 44. Guys, Nina just...
In that line, in that same document, they say that Judaism and Catholicism cannot be presented as two different ways of salvation. And so what it's referring to is, again, what I said before. They're a witness people, right? A witness to what's going to happen when Christ comes again. But it's not going to be the situation where you can't evangelize Jews.
But it says to not proselytize. So that's a contradiction.
Again, the CDF...
That's a contradiction. The point Jay is pointing out, dude, I don't know how he doesn't get this. Your church constantly contradicts itself. And the reason they do so is because your church only cares about submission to Rome. They don't care about doctrine. They don't care about any of that. As long as someone submits to Rome, they don't care.
Between evangelism and proselytism. Proselytism, as the CDF states, is converting people through false or unjust means. It's like if I threaten them, or let's say if I was offering like...
Oh my lord, man. Let's just redefine proselytism now so that it suits our arbitrary, our inconsistent metrics. Oh my lord.
Okay.
Bread to the poor like a red. Well, hold on. Okay, dude, hold on. You're interrupting again. I got to finish, right?
This is history.
Here's the thing. If I was offering like bread to a poor country, like I'm in Nepal and there's a bunch of Buddhists and I'm like, okay, you can only eat this if you convert to Catholicism. That's proselytism. But
that's not proselytism. Oh my lord. What a dishonest rats in the chats. Rats in the chats. We got to do it. We got to do it, guys. Pine Sap has earned it. Rat in the chat. Lord have mercy on this. These guys cope all day long about their Vatican. It's insane to me. It's absolutely insane. They don't realize that they're double speaking constantly. They're constantly double speaking. It's clown world. It's clown world. Clown world.
If I'm legitimately evangelizing someone and I want them to embrace the truth, that's evangelism. And the Pope does not condemn that.
That's the way to redefine
it's not at all. The same CDF document that I posted about before makes that distinction.
Proselytism means evangelization. So
that's fine that you say that. That's not the definition that the church lays down. That's not the definition that the church lays down.
Then you're in contradiction with the early church, idiot.
What redefining a terms, dude? This is what the church says.
Do Hindus worship?
This is what the church says, my guy.
No, your church redefines and contradicts.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Did the Italian bishops just allow?
When all your patriarchs, I've gotten onto this with you guys before. Right? When all your patriarchs say Muslims and Christians worship the same God. When all your patriarchs say Muslims and Christians.
No, none of our. Okay, I've read every single statement that these dumbasses. I've read every single statement that these dumbasses say. All of our patriarchs say that Muslims worship the same God as us. No, they don't. Not a single one did. Some of them have referred to the referent, but that is different. Christian Mario tries to be as friendly of a guy with all these guys as possible, but they're just dishonest little rats. I just can't. I can't do it. I don't know if he is, but if I don't know. By the way, pray for Christian Mario. I don't know what's going on with the guy. I know he was starting to do content again, and then he suddenly kind of disappeared. So maybe something's happening. So please pray for him. But like these guys, like this is just a rat-like way to argue. It's not even true on even the basic level. First off. Second off, even if every single patriarch said something of that nature and made a mistake and stumbled on his words, we don't care. We care about what the synods say. Show me a single local synod that says that we worship the same God as Muslims. Show me a single synod. Show me a single synod. Not one.
Not all of
worship the same God, right?
It's not all of them.
I can literally find a statement from
Pius
all your
V
patriarchs,
Pius
bro.
V says that
Patriarch
gay
Kirill,
priests are to be put
Patriarch
to death.
Bartholomew, every single one.
So it's
And
not,
Patriarch Kirill, Bishop Bartholomew, two of our patriarchs, like out of all of them. Okay, how about OCA? How about Georgia? How about Serbia? How about Romania, Bulgaria, Poland, Czechoslovak lands, the Orthodox Church of Japan? How about all of those guys? Oh, they don't count. They don't count. They don't count. But even then, again, what matters is the local synod. And furthermore, Patriarch Kirill has not said that. He said that Muslims do not worship the same God as Christians, and that we should convert them. He has not said that. I've listened to those statements. They are taken completely out of context.
Jay, I'll give you this. When they say that, I understand what they're saying. They're not denying the uniqueness of Jesus Christ, but you say that's heretical. So are all your patriarchs heretical?
It's not all the patriarchs, and yes, several patriarchs can make heterosexual
on
that
stream.
My ecclesiology.
On stream, you said your ecclesiology is that one bishop throughout the entire world could still be Orthodox and your church would exist. So are you claiming that there's some like mystical trad Orthodox bishop out there that happens to be like an old calendarist, and he's not an ecumenist, and he's not saying?
You're a liar, Pine Sap. Good Lord, this guy is such a... Yes, one bishop. A patriarch is not above other bishops, dude. He has a ceremonial role of being the leader of a synod. He doesn't have more authority on doctrine or the faith as any other bishop. The synods are a collection of all the bishops headed by the patriarch, but the patriarch is not the pope of the synod. Why can't you get this? Why can't they get this, guys? Why can't they understand this? Why is it that they have to be so dishonest? Why? I don't understand why. It literally pisses me off. No matter how many times we correct these people, no matter how many times we explain this, Jay's explained this ad nauseum 100 times to these people, hundreds of times. And they just lie and lie and lie and lie and cope and cope and cope and cope. You're coping. You dishonest rats.
Muslims and Christians worship the same God?
I didn't say it was the case. By the way, Pius V says that gay priests are to be put to death, and the Vatican bishops in Italy just said that gay priests can be gay, openly gay people.
All our bishops say it, but they never got into a synod to make it official. No, not all of our... Dude, not all of our... That's the wrong statement. I appreciate the $5, but Paisios, and I will give you a like for that, but Paisios, not all of our bishops have said that. In fact, it's like the opposite. Most of our bishops don't say that. The point that I'm making is that even our patriarchs don't say that. Even Patriarch Kirill and Patriarch Bartholomew have not said that. They've said some nice words where it's like, oh, we can get along. Oh, you guys worship the God of Abraham and stuff like that. They might say nice things about that, but they say they have to be converted and that they are worshiping a false Christ and a false God. I know, Nicholai, it's a joke. I'm sorry. It's not always clear in chat if it's a joke or not, okay? Okay, I see what you're trying to say. Okay. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't 100% clear. So, thank you. But you gotta forgive me, guys. I'm crashing out on right now with the dishonesty from these people.
Who can become priests. Is that a contradiction?
Actually, Pope Francis said that gay priests should not enter the clergy as recently as like last 2 years ago, right?
Last week.
Oh, Lord of mercy, Lord of mercy. Okay, Pope Francis did not say that. I already covered this. I'm not going to go over it again. I have a video on it. You guys can go watch it. That's not what Pope Francis says. He's lying.
So
Leo allowed it.
Dude,
Is that a contradiction?
oh my goodness. Pope Leo has spoken against gender ideology, spoken against homosexuality.
So?
Dude, this headline clipping belongs to TMZ, bro. This belongs to TMZ. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to believe anything you say, Jay. You do this all the time, bro. So what you say, what you go is you say, oh, okay, these gay bishops are allowed, or these gay priests are allowed.
Why has the Pope not done anything about the German bishops, the Dutch bishops, the French bishops, the bishops in the UK, the bishops in America, who are all universally doing horrendously crazy stuff liturgically and doctrinally? Why haven't they done anything about it? Hey y'all, just got in. Did I miss anything juicy? You haven't missed anything other than me crashing out. I've been crashing out. Dude, my blood pressure's going up today. I'm not going to be able to do a long stream because of this, guys. You guys are causing my blood pressure to spike.
Italian Bishops Conference. Dude, okay, let me say for a moment. Let me say you're not lying. Let me grant for a moment that you're not lying, which you most certainly are. Even if I was to grant, even if I was to grant, even if I was to grant that a bishops conference said something cringe, how does that disprove the church? How does that disprove the church? The consistent line, the consistent line from popes have always been
Gish Gallop, he's just trying to blow past the argument. He's trying to blow past the argument. He's not listening. This is just total slop. This is so low tier. Dude, I could wake up from a drunken stupor and out debate Pine Slop. You could kick me and wake me from a drunken stupor, and I'd still be a smarter and more intelligible than Pine Slop. Pine Fat, whatever you want to call him.
Gay clergy should not enter into the or gay people shouldn't enter into the clergy.
That's not what he said.
Oh my goodness.
He said openly gay people or people that were like out and out. But now Leo says you can be openly gay and be in the priesthood. You just can't be practicing. What does that even mean? If you're openly gay, you're openly gay. You're just a dishonest little rat. Rats in the chats for another rats in the chat for Pine Sat. I can't do it. If I don't blow out my steam from this guy, I'm gonna blow up. Rats in the chat for this dishonest guy. It's just so dishonest.
This dude get wrecked. Are we in 2013, bro? Is this 2013?
This is all you have.
Is this 2013, Jay? Bro, Unk, get wrecked. Dude, take that back to iDubbbz. Bro, take that back to iDubbbz.
Guys, I'm so young and hip. I'm a late 20s fat retard who embarrassed himself on the national stage in Jubilee. Made an embarrassment of the entire movement. Fat slob. And I'm going to act like I'm so young and hip and down with it, bro. Like, I'm so dude. Once you hit past 25, you can't be acting this way, dude. You can't be acting like, oh, I'm so young and hip and with it, guys. Dude, I'm 32. I am totally divorced from what young people, like, think and interact with, dude. You fat slob. Go freaking work out. Dude. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Who's mad? You're mad, bro. You're spiraling. You're spiraling, dude. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you were kinder and you could have a conversation about truth, this would be so much more fruitful. But instead, you have to engage in this headline clipping.
Dude, it's just like he's just like moralizing at this point. Oh, is this headline clip? This is just so horrible. Oh, Jay, why are you like this? We could have a fruitful dialogue, Jay. Like, why are you and it's just like, oh my Lord. His double chin freaking waddling as he's like whining about Jay.
CIA. Do you know about the same book that you recommend on your show about John Courtney Murray and the CIA? That same author, I think it's like Steve Whitinghoff or whatever, I'll have to go back, literally says that John Courtney Murray lost. These guys have no arguments, dude. All they do is reference sources that they can't back up. He's like, Yeah, the Italian
reference. The Italian bishops released the statement. You can see it yourself, you fat retard. And then these same people will whine that Jay kicks people. Oh. I can't do it with these people, dude. Can't do it. These fat slob retards. There he is. That's the guy he's talking to, by the way. Right there. Right there. By the way, that's the same guy. This guy right here. This that guy right there. That guy right there. That fat slob right near my mouse. That is the same dude that lied about losing his job because of his appearance on Jubilee. He lied. He lied. He lied about losing his job. It came out that he raised a ton of money off of it. He raised enough money off of that to fund me and my family for a year. For a year. And he lied about the whole thing. Guys, I got mother effing cancer and I couldn't even raise that much money. Right? Like, these people are rats. Actually, I haven't even checked. I haven't even checked the fundraiser to see if I made any money with it. No, we didn't make it. We didn't make it. I actually got to reshare this, guys, so hold on. There we go. Post sent. All right. Yeah, we almost made it. I'll share the link with you guys real quick if you guys want. You guys can check it out. Share it if you want. That's anything above and beyond the goal. Anything above and beyond the goal is going to help me, my father-in-law. My father-in-law his cancer has come back, and so me and my father-in-law are dealing with that stuff right now. So if you guys want that, just sharing it alone, whether on Facebook or anywhere else, is really, really helpful. Anything above and beyond the goal will be going towards my father-in-law's health. So just wanted to let you guys know. God bless you. That's okay. My health is improving actually. So the treatments are just expensive. Treatments are just expensive. Pine sap Jubilee. It was just embarrassing. This is just an embarrassing fight. And he didn't even learn, like, listen, like this Jubilee debate or whatever was 6 months ago, and then 3 months, 6 months later, no, it's right here.
I'm sitting in a room today where I bet a month.
By the way, Kai, he's not that great. I mean, like, totally honest, he's not that great. People overhyped Kai as if he was like the best thing since sliced cheese. He's just a Mormon with semi-based opinions on race. That's it. That's it. And he's got he's got the look. He's got the proper look to be like a Chad, you know. So that's why everyone likes him. Like Sarah Stock.
At this point, you're probably not avoiding therapy because of stigma. You're probably avoiding therapy because you've become
criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So, quite frankly, if Trump is anti-Constitution, good, and I think he should go further.
So this is wonderfully revealing of the modern conservative mindset. So I appreciate you spelling it out so openly. Just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay, surprise! I was shocked to hear that. I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and include
whenever
the
it's in your
Second Amendment.
favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not. Because
so you don't
it's the
believe in
friend enemy.
democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
By who?
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who is in line with Catholic teaching.
Donald Trump is not Catholic.
Of course.
Anyone who's in line with Catholic teaching. This is just so embarrassing because Catholic teaching is liberal, dude. See, this is what's so embarrassing. Is it's like whatever's in line with Catholic teaching. You mean like mass migration, liberalization, that Hindus and Muslims can worship the same God as I do, building multi-faith centers.
Of course, he's not. I completely agree.
So
and
you
that's part of
support
the problem.
Trump? You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone. I can't even remember.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted. I kind of voted just to
I came with this argument, but I'm bored of my own argument.
I just voted to be a troll. These are terrible arguments. These are terrible arguments for Hassan. If you're gonna be a monarchist and an autocracy and believe in an autocracy, then you go full forge into it. You don't play these silly, like, what about you? Oh, I'm just a troll, bro. I don't take it all that seriously. But then at the same time, try and support monarchy. It's just stupid.
Much more interested in this. So
yeah, absolutely.
How do we get to an autocracy?
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local leaders.
Who is the we, by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far right conservatives sitting right around
white people.
Yeah.
No,
absolutely.
So,
well, actually, I have quite
some of the people in this room don't make the cut from what I can see visually.
Actually, hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you. I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country, which is majority white and should stay that.
How does the United States? I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? Sorry, what's your name?
My name is my name's Connor. Pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of a doubt there.
Oh, well, I use a pseudonym online.
Fair enough.
But fair enough.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
I didn't ask about deporting. What does the government look like?
What does the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a sort of benevolent leader, such as
Where does
Franco.
he come
from? It could be a kind of aristocratic.
Blue Skittles says they want Pope Leo to be monarch and open the borders. I know this is why it's incoherent. He was the worst representative of monarchism I have ever seen in my life. If Jubilee's ever doing a monarchism roundtable, I'll do it. I'll do it. One monarchist versus a bunch of retards.
Class could be someone
who picks the autocrat.
Frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote on it. Kings
so isn't that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that state.
And then no more votes afterwards?
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Oh, What if the oligarchy just like see he just plays into these questions like so Hassan's this guy's too stupid to understand. Hassan's just asking these questions to lead him to answer stupider and stupider results rather than say, no, Hassan, you have to demonstrate that your system is superior, right? It's actually the burden is on him. He allowed Hassan to completely turn around the entire conversation away from what the core topic was. The Constitution is only useful insofar that it protects that it can be used to protect the people. The moment its usefulness is gone, then it's no longer useful to use. This so when people says I don't even agree that Trump is defying the Constitution, but even if Trump was defying the Constitution, good. Like why? Like but keep it on that subject. Why are you getting lost in the sauce? You sound incoherent. You're not having a debate about monarchism and autocracy.
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills because that's the whole thing.
How do you know?
Carl Schwartz.
Oh Lord have mercy! I'm not going to be part of the group that is. No, there is a possibility they could, but the point is that the chances of a king being a tyrant is relatively low throughout history. A king just going mad and just randomly slaughtering his citizens doesn't happen, frankly, very often throughout history. This is just bad. This is why Fat Slob shouldn't be involved in politics at all. He's just too stupid. He's too stupid, guys. So we're going to getting all kinds of weird recommendations. Pine Slap is poorly representing women, yeah. Let's see here. I'm going to try and pull this up. Well, guys, I just listened to something I didn't want to listen to from the interwebs. No wonder all he does is criticize Eastern Orthodox while completely hand-waving all the geopolitical subversion, all the Skittles activities in his church. Yeah, well. Are we in a silent prayer right now? No, I was listening to something. I was like, oh gosh, this is bad. But you guys couldn't see what I was listening to. It's Elijah Schaefer speaking to his wife. It's pretty brutal. Guy's clearly going a little unhinged. Nicholai almost at 2K. W, so true. Thank you guys. I do appreciate it. I gotta do more videos. Very, very good. Anyways, guys, I am tired and I got to get the daughter fed. So we're gonna call it quits. A little bit of a shorter one today. And I was crashing out and my blood pressure is going. So why not you guys all jump over to Cleve if he's streaming? I don't know how to send you guys. How do we send people? How do I send people? Do I share? No. Nope, that's not it. Google! Help me, Google. Use the live redirect feature. Select the live tab. Oh, do I have to do it that way? Okay, we'll try. Manage. Live channel settings. We go here. We go to YouTube. I'm going to send you guys. Guys, calm down. Calm down. All of you, calm down. It's getting ridiculous. You guys are being absolutely ridiculous. Content. Live. I'm currently live. Options. Do I edit? No. Actions. No. That. Ooh. Oh. I figured out something, guys. I see something. Concurrent. Okay. Insert ad. I don't want to do that. Share end stream. I don't want to do that either. Okay. How do I do this? Edit pencil button. Oh, we got to do that? Okay. See, this is why edit. Okay. Use the customization tab. Customization tab. Redirect section, click add. Add. Okay. Save. Ha! Look at that, guys. Okay, now we're going to try it. We're going to send you guys off. Boomer fallacy. End stream. See you guys there.